We have multiple huge Leafs updates to go over today, and as Game 7 is now just hours away, we have a huge update surrounding Matthew Knies, but we also have some other updates that have huge implications, not only on this game, but going forward for the team if they win. We'll break that down as well. Some other updates surrounding the Panthers this time. A ton to go over before we get into it. If you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Leafs content. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. We're getting close to 20,000 subscribers. If you want to help us, Darius and myself, reach that goal, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Darius, a lot to go over today. And Toronto Maple Leafs, it's the day. We're going to be nervous. We're going to be terrified. All those things are going to be true. There's a chance this is the last game of the Core 4 era, but let's focus on the positives today. And one of those positives is that Matthew Knies, and you predicted it in yesterday's video, I was more pessimistic. He is on the ice for morning skate ahead of Game 7 versus Florida. And this is obviously pretty big news here, as he is taking his regular line rush with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner at practice ahead of Game 7, and all signs point to him playing, and he will be playing, in tonight's game. And it's at the point now where in Game 7s, everybody's playing, everybody's feeling good. The line rushes remain, fairly similar here. But the biggest news of the day is that Matthew Knies will be paired with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, and he will be playing. Whether he's 100% or not, we're not 100% sure. We have some comments later from Craig Berube to go over, but he's going to be in.
Yeah, he's going to be in. He's going to play. I'm sure everyone who is available at least wants to play in this game, even if they're not 100%. And most guys at this time of year are not 100%. So good news for the Leafs. He's going to play. He was also doing some net front stuff during the morning skate, which is a good sign because he wasn't doing that at the end of the last game. So it seems like he's feeling better. Again, to me, it looked like maybe a Charlie horse or something like that was just stinging and wasn't going away. That happens sometimes. So hopefully that's what it was, nothing more serious. But we'll see the way he plays tonight. But seems like he's going to be deployed in the exact same way. He was taking reps on the power play. Like I just mentioned, he was net front on some of the drills. And he's going to be playing on the first line. And obviously, we didn't see that happen at the end of last game. So it seems like he's good enough to go. And again, just by the eye test, we're going to be able to see if he is 100% or not, right? Because obviously it didn't look good at the end of last game. But he's a huge player for this team, a huge piece of this team. So they need him ready to go. And I think he's going to be ready to go. And again, it's Game 7 of the second round. Like, even if you're 50%, I think guys are going to want to be in on this game. And, that is true on the Florida Panthers side of things. We'll get to that in a second. But it's a good thing Matthew Knies is back in. They're going to need him. And this is going to be a crazy game.
Yeah, and the rest of the lines, again, Knies, Matthews, Marner, Holmberg, Tavares, Nylander, Lorentz, Lawton, Yarncroke, and McMahon, Domi, and Pacioretty. Pacioretty obviously coming off of a very important game with an insurance goal, and the blue line remains the same as well. And one other note, Matt Murray is going to be the backup again, so Anthony Stolarz isn't healthy. Again, even if he was, highly doubt he would have played, but he's not healthy. Stolarz, that is, so he won't be playing behind Joseph Woll. And we'll see now if they win. I mean, if they win, it opens up a massive can of worms going forward for the Stolarz Woll conversation, all these different things. But I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about it because I want the Leafs to go out and have a really good game. And again, Stolarz did not take part in the Leafs practice, which is a little bit unfortunate. I would have liked to see him, potentially out there, and obviously having him out there would have been, nice, even just the kind of the comfort of him having him as a backup goalie, but also going forward. But regardless, they're going to try to win it for him, and they're also going to try to win it for themselves because we're experiencing Core 4 history here, a Game 7 in round 2. Don't really know how to feel, but there is some other things to go over, and I want to touch on, there's some Berube comments. There's also an update from the Panthers side, but also Matthew Tkachuk, and he spoke out on Game 7. Our game is built for this. We talked from training camp. What are you going to do for Game 7? It's finally here, and we get to show it off tonight. Who cares how we got here? Down 2 or up 1. It's a one-game showdown, and there are only 5 teams left, which is a little bit crazy. The Jets obviously got eliminated in yesterday's game in pretty brutal fashion there, and ultimately, Matthew Tkachuk, I mean, he is right. The Panthers game is built for this. They try to, we'll say, hit hard and injure players throughout the entire series, and they luckily weren't able to injure any of the Leafs besides, unfortunately, Anthony Stolarz. But this is it now for this team, and I think this game is going to be a direct illustration of whether or not how far they've come in 8 years. And if they can put together a great game tonight, then maybe, not saying the 8 years of pain were worth it, but maybe just a little bit of a positive step forward, because this core is still under contract besides, a couple guys. Obviously, Tavares, hopefully he returns, but most of them, aside from Mitch Marner and Tavares, are under contract for the foreseeable future, and they'll be, this team is going to be running it back next year, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I think the Florida Panthers, like Matthew Tkachuk said, are built for this, and they've been here before. They've been in higher pressure situations as well. But the Toronto Maple Leafs are due. Like, I feel like they're due at this point. I am very hopeful coming into this game. If they put in a performance like they did last game, they're a tough team to beat. They really are. They got to stick with it and try and score some goals tonight. And it's going to be a tight game. It really is. I mean, it's either going to be a tight game like it was last game, or it's going to be a blowout one way or another, right? So it's going to be exciting to watch. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring affair, like back and forth or anything like that. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. But the Leafs are due. I also saw a stat. Shout out to the Hockey Illuminati that this is the sixth game seven of the Matthews Marner era for this group. That is 67. So hopefully they break the curse of the cup this year. That would be nice. But again, I feel like they're due. I feel like all these lessons they've been talking about, right, comes down to tonight. You've been in so many of these games, right? You got to feel comfortable at some point in a game seven, right? So, and no one really ever is in a game seven, but man, you've been here before. So let's see what they can do. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling excited. And again, I don't want to look too far forward, but game one of the next round, they've already announced whether it is Toronto or Florida would be Tuesday, and they start before the other series, which went shorter. Go figure. I don't know how that works from the NHL, but yeah, they have a great opportunity in front of them tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. A few other pretty big updates here. And let's start with this one. It just dropped moments ago from Evan Rodriguez. He is staying out at the Panthers gate. It appears he'll be back in. I mean, he was their first liner for a while there. And obviously, the thing is here, I want your thoughts on this. The man who replaced Evan Rodriguez had probably played better, arguably, than Evan Rodriguez in the couple games that he played. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go, between those guys. But it's game seven. Everybody's laying it on the line here. We're having comments from both sides. Matthew Tkachuk saying they're built for game seven. They have Evan Rodriguez back. Luckily, the Leafs have Matthew Knies. I was very concerned about whether or not he would be available. It's all coming together here, and this is going to be an absolute battle. But Evan Rodriguez being back is extremely notable here because he was their first line center.
Yeah, he was playing on the first line, right? And obviously Bookfist came up and he scored a goal, but obviously that was a terrible game five effort from the Leafs. So, you could put whatever you want into that, I guess. But he's going to be shifting down. It looks like Rodriguez, again, they didn't really say. I would imagine he's back in on the first line, right? But they didn't really say if he's going to slot in on the third. Maybe he's still hurt. We don't know, right? Like maybe he's not 100%. So is he going to be that much of a factor? You never know, but you have to watch out for him because he's a great player for this team. So he's coming back into the lineup tonight. Everyone, I think, who can be available will be playing in this game. So it's gonna be crazy, and we'll just see how effective each one of these players are. And again, like there's guys on the other side. A lot of people have been talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and certain players not being effective. There's a lot of guys on the other side who haven't either. A lot of these lines cancel each other out. So it's gonna be a tight one, I think. Or again, it's gonna be a blow. It's gonna be a weird game. So I'm excited to see it tonight. And again, I'm feeling hopeful. I think the Leafs can do this because, coming off the last performance, put your best foot forward. You've been here before. What a great opportunity to change the narrative. It is sitting right in front of you, and you can beat this team. And it's on home ice. So go out and get it.
And Paul Maurice, undefeated in game sevens. Craig Berube 2-1. Let's hope they can get it done. Also, before I wrap up, we do want to send our condolences to the family of Mark Scheifele in case you missed it there. His father unexpectedly passed away, but he had the courage to go out and play in yesterday's game. And some of the players on both sides, even Paul Maurice just minutes ago, sending their condolences. You can see here, knowing Mark and his family, it's something that I can't imagine. All the credit in the world to him and his teammates and everyone in Winnipeg for pulling together. We'll be thinking about Mark and his family. And Craig Berube also spoke out on that. My heart goes out to him and his family. The courage he showed to play the game and played well. It's a terrible situation. You feel bad for him, but I understand why he played. I really do. It's tough for anybody out there. I mean, in picturesque fashion, he did score the first goal. Unfortunately, the game ended with him in the penalty box. But also shout out to the Dallas Stars fans for donating to a charity on his dad's behalf and all these different things in the Reddit. But hearts out to him, and hopefully good wishes to him and his family there. But let us know down below what your thoughts are on that. We'll leave a link to the charity in the description as well if you're curious about donating there. But we will see you guys for a stream following tonight's game, so make sure to check that out. We'll see you guys later.